Spiritual awakening can feel like being in a horror movie because there are so many things coming through your body. It feels like an avalanche, an earthquake, a mudslide. You are dissolving, you are being shattered into a billion little pieces, and it's extremely disorienting. You're taking on a lot of psychic information. You're feeling a lot of psychic pings. You're feeling lost. You're feeling alone. You're feeling abandoned. You are feeling um, like this world is disintegrating and being shattered before your eyes. You're being shattered like a glass vase into a billion little pieces. And it's very lonely because when you reach out to family, to friends, you try to explain the experience, there's simply no way to really explain this experience in a way that makes sense. I mean, you're realizing that there is a substance, there is an eternal substance that animates matter or that makes up your spirit, your heart, your soul, and it goes beyond this dimension. And really, like, even all the flowery language and all the like kind of fairy tales and all these things you've learned throughout history, it's kind of like a distorted view because it's like this commercialized spirituality, and you realize that we are potentially time travelers that are here from the future, you could say. I mean, if there's no such thing as time, then there's no future. You could just say that there's a lot of souls that are here from a more expanded view, or are time coded to wake up sooner, to be teachers, to be catalysts, to be disruptors of this world. And it's a rough time for them, but they were planted here. I mean, if you're listening to this, you're probably resonating with my podcast, resonating with my videos. You are probably one of these people that you switched on sooner, and you realize that I just feel like there's billions of light years of distance between the person that thinks that this matter, this life is here and it's the only thing, it's the only life. You're just supposed to be a good, happy boy and get a gold star in your lunchbox, and then you go to heaven. And then there's eternal blackness or something. And then between that and then someone who's like, oh, there's infinite realities, there's infinite dimensions. You never die. You've done this in many incarnations and many lives and many different civilizations, and you are a warrior or something like a mercenary that incarnates into different realities and different I don't know what you'd say, different time space continuums. If they're spread out, if time isn't real, time isn't linear, you could be doing many different things at once. But it's not to get all stuck in the nitty gritty and stuck and obsessed with the semantics and the specifics, and oh, look at me, and I'm this race, and I'm this mighty race, and I'm so great. And it's not that. It's not about the ego trip, but it is about saying, hey, this is the substance we're made of. This is what we're here to do. Sorry, you're sleepy, you want to be lazy, you want to be in patterns, but hey, I'm here to like disrupt. I'm here to be a pain. I'm here to be piss you off even. Great. So if you get pissed off, be passionate at least. Go out and say something, do something, shake something up. I mean, it beats the docile zombie state. I'll take a hateful, angry reaction if it means you're going to speak from your soul, right? If you otherwise wouldn't speak from your soul, but you're going to speak out of motivation because you hate me and you can't stand me. Oh, this guy Peter, God, he's such a pain in the ass. Wish he'd shut up. Oh God, he thinks he's like this great gift. He thinks he's got this Messiah complex. Oh, he's going to enlighten everyone, right, Peter? If you dislike me, great, but at least say something. At least say something original, if you have it in you. If you're meant to be a spectator and a staying in the stands and cheering and then throwing tomatoes and booing, and that's your whole reality, then do that too. Just accept that about yourself if that's what you're going to be. And you have no original thoughts or ideas to contribute to this planet or this consciousness. But I'm here to just shake things up, stir things up. Not claiming to be better than anyone. I came in with what I came in with, like we're kind of coded, this knowledge is inside us. It's a feeling, it's a hunger, it's an anger, it's a primal remembrance. And you can't mistake that feeling of homesickness. You can't mistake that feeling of just realizing that this isn't the only reality. And people that realize this are in a different kind of frame because they don't take everything so seriously. You know? Oh, money, oh, heartbreak, oh, grief, oh, loss, oh, death, you know? We're all eternal, we're changing form. Like, old souls or multidimensional souls know how to savor things, but at the same time, not hold on to things. So, when you're going through this awakening, it's important that you basically hold tight to your heart, because it will feel like realities are crumbling around you. It feels like you're losing all emotional support. You're losing the idea of who you thought you were. So therefore, who you thought your family was, your friendships, even your significant other, your friends, will all shatter and basically dissolve, like it's not really there. Like, is this reality even real? I feel like this is like very trippy and surreal. People are telling me it's real. People are telling me I should have, people are getting their panties in a bunch over this. They're saying I should feel mad about this. They're saying I should feel shame about this. They're saying I shouldn't speak that way, but I feel like it's not even real. Like, what is this place? It's like some weird, dumb game or some simulation. My soul just never felt suited to it. It never felt like it could fit here. Like, I feel like in this process of expansion, you're always shattering, dying, and being reborn in spirit, and expanding your spirit, expanding the sensitivity of your heart and soul. So you're receiving more of the intense psychic pings, intense psychic information streaming in at all times. And you may have felt that as a kid too. That's why they may have felt, oh, you're depressed, you're sad, you're anxious, you have fill in the blank for mental disorder, whatever your parents tried to label with on you. You're taking in the stream of information and you're realizing that, hey, I'm just tuned into realities that are far outside of this world, like far outside of this reality. The pulses and the waves and the ups and the downs, the peaks and the valleys, the climax, and then the descent, the crescendo, and then the descendo. I don't know if I'm saying that right, the musical term, but it's very weird because everything in this reality, also you feel this constant feeling that everything is gloomy, everything is very just dense and low vibrational. Like, the more you expand into your heart, but really you go into the deep dark hells. Like, I'm saying this reality is like a horror movie, but one of the horror movies where like the clown, where there's like creepy clowns or something, because it's so goofy and so weird. Maybe like that movie It, which I've heard about. I've never actually seen it. I know it's like supposed to be an iconic horror movie. What was it, 70s, 80s? Sorry, I don't know exactly, but it's like a horror movie with clowns because everything is so stupid and it's so silly. It's like, this can't be real, can it? But everyone's it feels like low vibrational and dense and heavy, and things you're trying to expand, but the things around you are just, it's like this mucky, murky, foggy quicksand of this reality of people that are sort of programmed and not tuned into that divinity. And, then there's that debate about non-player characters of like, how do you actually define sentience? How do you define a sentient soul in this reality? Are some of the souls earthbound? Do they come straight from source? I've heard this idea, like, and then other souls are from space, like they originally incarnated in space or on other planets, and then have had many, many incarnations, many planets, many densities, all these things. And then they come into this reality and it's like everything's backwards, everything's like upside down world, and you hate it. You feel like you literally, I've had moments like that too, where you literally feel like you can't even fit in your skin. Like, even the body, even the physicality seems very suffocating and weird and like clunky and awkward. And you just want to expand. You want to feel your heart explode and create. You want to create worlds. You just have this life force and this passion. And I guess you could say, like, non-player characters, I don't know. I think it's an intense kind of debate when you get into those thoughts of like who has a soul and who doesn't have a soul. I don't know. It's a big question. I don't know if it's for me to say really, but it's kind of, those people that don't really have a connection to their heart. They don't have a connection to integrity. They don't have that. They don't have the righteousness. They don't have the warrior spirit. They don't have that like greater purpose and that fire. So you might feel drained. You might feel drained around people that are just not having the soul, like the soul fire, the soul substance. They're not having that genuine care, that genuine appreciation. You know how some people are just draining. They're just blah. They just don't think beyond this world. They're like, all right, well, we die and we go to heaven, and then you live the good life, and everyone's good, and everyone's good. But it's almost as if it's a script because they can't go off script. They can't. When you ask them, well, do you think there's other worlds? Do you think there's other planets? Do you think there's other lives that we've lived? It's almost like they're programmed to say, oh, that past life stuff, that's some like weird stuff. Like, I don't really know. That's just some weird stuff. I don't even want to go there. Like, how are you going to say that we have past lives? Oh, that's crazy stuff. I don't even know what you're talking about. The prevailing ideas said that that's crazy, and I read my spiritual commercialized self-help and the popular gurus, so I just go by what I hear, and that's it, and then I parrot those ideas. So you really have to be your own best friend, and you really have to realize that, first of all, if this reality is not even real, you don't even know if some of these people are like figments. I mean, yeah, respect and love everyone and treat everyone as sacred, etc., blah, blah, blah. Goody two-shoes. Petey's a good, happy boy. See, Petey's a good, happy boy. Petey said the right thing. It's people are so programmed with fake niceness and fake politeness. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, like, flat out, some people are just draining as hell. They're just draining because they're not tapped into the soul substance. They're not feeling anything beyond this reality. They're like, oh, extraterrestrial life? No, we're the only life. We're the only life that has ever existed and ever will exist. And it's almost like, again, they're reading off a script. And it's like, what I think is how absurd, how self-centered, how like self-absorbed to the point where you can't even see beyond your own nose can you be to think that we are the only life in this galaxy and in this universe. And it's just kind of insane to me, but it's makes sense if people are totally cut off from spirit. They're cut off from their hearts. They are living robotic existences. So what I want to say here is, if you've been going through some crazy awakenings, especially the last few years, it's been pretty insane, honestly, just insane levels of pain and anger and transmutation. If you're someone that's feeling the collective energy weather every day, you're feeling the intensity of the swirling things, you're doing your grounding, you're doing your transmutation, you're doing your daily work, you're feeling the pain, the sadness, the anger, you're not in good happy boy consciousness, where you think cheering on sports teams and rooting for red guy, blue guy is the entire meaning of your life, and being rich and, having orgasms with your wife on a regular basis and having kids is the meaning of life, and there's literally nothing else you were born to do. And you are the goodest and happiest boy because you get a gold star in your lunchbox and you go to heaven. If you're not that, you have to tend to your own heart every day, because a lot of things in the Matrix are basically just, sorry for the barking dog, that's the neighbor's dog, in the Matrix are very much just soulless, just like almost like a level of a video game that we need to conquer, that we need to double down, we need to get closer to spirit, we need to double down on our values. Honestly, it's so intense, the soul work the past 4 or 5 years. It's almost like debilitating. But I do feel strongly that it's an unprecedented lifetime. It's very odd. It's very strange. It's an explosive time. There is a feeling of, well, why was I lied to? Like, why didn't I get some briefing or some village elder when I was a kid, so I could save myself from all this pain and anguish of living in a lie, living in an illusion, living in walking around like blind and walking into walls and having to make all these mistakes and not knowing my true essence and not knowing that literally most of the people around here are fake. Most of the things are an illusion. Most of the people are totally hollow, that they're not connected to soul or spirit. So I shouldn't listen to them because they're going to steer me wrong. They're going to steer me to a place that is crushing my soul, crushing my spirit, making me into a soulless zombie. And I say that with the most compassion possible. I'm not paranoid. I just know that a lot of times I prefer to be alone or be around just heart-centered good people. And I feel like I've dealt with a lot of just users, manipulators, people that use you for what they need and they ghost. They have no sense of accountability. They have no sense of respect for the sacred. It's all material. It's all about money. It's all about what they can gain. I've had enough of that for like 100 lifetimes. So forgive me if I'm just angry and I have no patience for it. And I'm just talking about how it pisses me off and I don't want to deal with it. So it takes a lot of courage, you know, but we are what we are. Like I've always felt like a foreign, weird alien freak, you know. I always have felt like that. Like this world is literally upside down and I don't even belong in this world. Like my consciousness is like somewhere up in the stars and it's like kind of being pulled into this reality, but I'm letting these energies flow through me to then like download things into this reality or disrupt or break the matrix or like expand my energy within this super confined, controlled, distorted, you know, whatever zombie video game of a reality. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like a weirdo too. You know, if people perceive me as a weirdo or see me as whatever, just sticking out like a sore thumb, like what the hell is this guy talking about? You know, like my family just doesn't have a clue about any of the stuff I talk about. If however they perceive me, you know, I'm doing the best I can. I mean, I have to be in this body. I have to be in the body of Peter. You know, I'm strange and foreign. I know that for sure. I don't have all the answers. I just know that my reality, my vibration, my core frequency is just foreign to this world. And I know I'm here for work, here for a mission. I'm here to leave my impact, but also at the same time to not get too attached to the nonsense and the circus and the insanity and the people that are trying to put me in a box. It's just expand, 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 whatever embarrassment may come, whatever hate. You know, it's like sticks and stones may break my bones, but I forgot the other part, may never harm me, something. But I'm an eternal soul. You're an eternal soul, so who cares? It's flesh. It's a little flash. It's a little dream. So get your work done while you're here. Don't be leaving the body and be like, oh man, I wimped out again. I didn't do what I wanted to do in that stupid simulation video game BS like joke of a reality, but also it's kind of fun and I should have just stopped taking it so damn seriously and realized who the hell I am and remembered who I am. But I feel just anchor into your heart, anchor strongly into your heart and remember who you are. I always say to myself, you know, I'd rather fall flat on my face, look stupid, be humiliated, be attacked, you know, 10,000 times under the playbook of my higher self. So going about it my way and the way of my higher self and the real Peter, rather than ever try to imitate or be someone else just once to alleviate shame, embarrassment, sticking out like a sore thumb, hate, attacks, all these things. Because every step I take towards being the real Peter, the real expression of God that wants to shine through me and wants to shine through you too, because you're a unique instrument of God that can never be repeated. And you're here to be a sword, a trumpet, and a chisel for God, serve God, show others the way. And we're here to just leave it all out on the field, not have any questions about it, you know? And at every new level of the game of ascension, everything gets harder because you're more expanded. There's more rooms in the surface area of your consciousness. There's more levels, there's more densities, there's more temperatures, like through ice and hot and cold and up and down and color spectrums and musical spectrums. And it's just this massive, like, you're merging with God. God's consciousness is coming into your consciousness, because it's really just, who am I? And who are you? I'm just God peering through the eyes of Peter and witnessing all this and learning how to create and have fun and all this. So we are opening to new worlds, and we're doing it together. It's a crazy ride through the portal of the heart, and we're realizing and remembering who we are, and it's a big task, but we're up to the task. And I think it's more and more going towards the fact that we really do create this reality with our thoughts and emotions. It's just that we don't have a proper handle on that, and we've been recreating patterns of trauma bonding and trauma and pain and misery and hell on this planet, that we don't even know how powerful we are. And there's so few people that are tapped into this that it's hard to change the planet rapidly. But if more people were doing the inner work, we'd be changing the planet more rapidly. So I don't know. I feel like I'm barely hanging on sometimes. I'm barely attached to this reality. I'm barely attached to this body, but I'm here and we're in this experience. And old souls, you might have the thing where you just feel, "Oh, I've done this crap so many times. All this fake crap, the money games, the status games, the betrayal, the stupid humanness, the stupid BS that you have to deal with in people, and all their fake garbage and crap. I just want love. I just want real humans. That's all I want." That's what real wealth is in a fake robot soulless society. These are the wealthy billionaires and trillionaires that still have a connection to their heart. So we need to come together, and I'll see you guys soon. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again.